Local main character Zepp here, and sorry if I sound like a middle schooler desperately trying to find a personality here, but the Beetles are awesome. The ones that are prone to getting got by bug catchers, not Catcher in the Rye.
Battle Konchu Kabutoborg is one of Takara Tomy's battle hobby lines, mimicking the age-old tradition of catching bugs and making them fight, popular in many parts of Asia. In Japan, fighting beetles specifically is so iconic that it's not only evoked by an obsession with the beetle motif, but spawned series based on the concept, like Mushi King, and you already know what the big one is. The most significant event in global pop culture. Even Yokai Watch begins with a tutorial on how to catch bugs to familiarize the player with encountering yokai later on. And Beyblade, which began as a Game Boy game directly based on that other monster catching game that was big at the time, definitely draws at least some incidental inspiration from beetle fights, at least in addition to its other traditional Japanese inspiration, the Battletop's Beigoma. The way bays get tossed out of the arena is more similar to beetles than Beigoma, I'd say, and there's also this climb the tower match in early Bakuten Shoot that resembles a certain beetle wrestling game. Hell, the original Beyblade prototypes had a monster raising element to them, like many of the beetle fighting games that are based off of the hobby. The resemblance between tops and bugs is likely just coincidental or consequence of copying something that took inspiration from beetle fighting, or consequence of just copying wrestling wholesale, but either way, in 2004, Tomy knew that they had to make a toy to combat Takara's Beyblade and Beat 'em On series, and they decided to go straight to the source. Enter Kabutoborg, rev-up tank-like beetles that clash head-to-head in a battle stage platform to either flip each other over or push their opponents off the stage. The series evolved year from year until Takara and Tomy merged into the closest thing there is to a God King in the Japanese toy industry, and then the series went out with a bang with an anime adaptation.
Okay, I'll be honest. I have not watched Kabutoborg in full. Okay, but in my defense, the series is not fully subbed in English, and I just can't stop watching isolated clips.
Jinzo Konshu Kabutoborg Victory by Victory, or Artificial Insect Kabutoborg Victory by Victory, although maybe Cyborg Insect Kabutoborg Victory by Victory could work as well, is a series that has the tone of something like Gintama or Duel Masters, i.e. penis anime. Victory by Victory follows a very similar structure, with the gags and sillies being the jello that holds the chunks of plot in place. Like, the masked Big Bad's identity is revealed as the protagonist's dad in only episode 1. Cutting straight to the chase. Kamen Rider and Star Wars ain't shit, I guess. When the mask is off, they have a fine relationship, but when it's on, they beef. He's on the clock. He's gotta kill his kid to get that paycheck. Now, instead of using a Beyblade-style spirit animal system for its special attacks, since, they're all Beetles, Victory by Victory goes wacky style with it. The very first special attack we see on screen in the first episode is an office lady. One of the main character's attacks is literally rice. It's not a one-off joke either, as the opening says. He's and that's not it. There's death by firing squad, soulful harmonica, some dentures, and of course, women be shopping. There's also what is probably the highest amount of female characters and combatants I've seen in a male-focused hobby anime. Almost all of them are adult women, and sometimes past their 40s and 60s. And while we're at it, I might as well mention that the main character fought his mother's gynos immediately after being born. Was his mother's uterus sponsored by Takara Tomy? On the topic of women, there's also a cross-dressing episode, but I somehow imagine there's more than that. And one time, where they just beat a band by counting the wrong rhythm with some old man. There's also ass, and this scene that I will play uncut and unedited. Finally, there's this guy. named Lloyd who runs Lloyd's part shop, but he can also awaken into a badass mode with a little bit of stubble, where he uses a machine called Caesar Kaiser Emperor and his attack Sentimental Outlaw Blues. Also, I'm pretty sure he's just a white guy who speaks in broken Japanese.
いいんですよ、私は。
Oh, sorry, I'm getting a call. He's from Brooklyn? And he killed a woman? If this series ever gets subbed, I'm watching it.
One last note, on April Fool's 2022, they made this gag of rebooting the series as an idol show, and I don't know if that is insulting to the original audience or if they would just find that as par for the course. If I were a regular fan of the franchise up to that point, do you think I wouldn't like this? But now it seems like they're reviving the series in earnest, releasing promotional key art of all of the characters grown up, along with airing episodes of the original Victory by Victory on the Takara Tomy YouTube channel to promote the new series of toys. After a decade and some change of absence, Kabutoborg is back with a fresh coat of paint, now with new rear parts that attach to the back of the Borgs and the Victory Charge system. You have another chance to Borg battle as a professional Borger.
Do you think I'm making these terms up? Do you think I willingly brought the word Borger into existence? Do you think I'm a cat on the internet from 2007? Is that what I am to you? I want to be that for you.
Borg battles are simple enough. Both players charge their machines 5 times by rolling it on the rear charge wheel. Quickly after that, they simultaneously drop their Beetles onto the entry platform of the customizable battle stage. They charge towards each other with high torque wheels, and the battle ends in one of 4 ways. A drop, pushing the opponent's Kabutoborg off the stage, an over, flipping the opponent's Kabutoborg on its back, a slash, rolling under the opponent's Kabutoborg in order to change its course to falling off the side, and of course, a stalemate where no finishing blow happens. These are rev-up toys after all, and while that sounds like a design weakness, it's actually somehow a genius design strength. Stalemates are a real thing in many forms of wrestling and in toys based off of them, like Crush Gear. When the battery-powered battle cars crash into each other and stalemate, both players have to agree to relaunch or have to bring in a real-life ref to call it. Kabutoborg just have a built-in timer. It's also nice not to have to keep a fresh pair of batteries on you to make sure that your machine works at full power, and with the Victory Charge system, your machine will. The Victory Charge system seems to be an improved rev-up mechanism. The old toys could do 5 charges, but the standard amount was 3, and the arenas were bigger, so there was usually less juice to travel larger distances. Sometimes being just short of pushing an opponent off the edge is an exciting climax. Sometimes it's 11:30 p.m. and you've got to work in the morning and you're about to lose your job from oversleeping because the Beetles just keep on wimping out and kissing in the middle instead of fighting. Machines can be customized with rear parts to help them stand more formally, option parts which appeared in older series and plug into these little holes on the back, and different horn parts that move with the same mechanism as the wheels. Previous series also had different shaped wheels, with only wheels of different sizes appearing so far in this one. Each wheel can be put on centered or off-centered to create different bucking patterns. It's a good amount of customization, but may seem lacking compared to the likes of Beyblade or Crush Gear. The whole "it has to look like a real-life Beetle" thing limits the horn shapes, but hopefully creative option parts will come out to liven things up. With Beyblade X coming out, I don't think Takara Tomy plans to make this line their star attraction at all, but I do hope they release a good toolkit for the line. After all, it doesn't have the skill element of launching like Beyblade or Crush Gear, so it will rely on building and tuning, not unlike Tamiya's mini 4-wheel drive race cars. The game relies totally on the diversity of part options available to remain interesting, so hopefully it delivers.
Now, do I think that this could come to the West? I mean, a snippet of the original toy line came out in Brazil for a limited run as I do apologize to any Portuguese speakers. Megalutes? Probably not, but I could see why they would try. Beetles are awesome and look like if a battle-obsessed child was tasked to create a cool-looking insect. But children don't really fight bugs in America. It's adults who fight roosters and dogs. So unless if Kabutoborg is coming out anytime soon, I don't think we're going to see anything. Yeah, they barely want to release Beetle on here. I don't see why licensors are going to go gung-ho on the Beetles. I suppose they could try to evoke the vibe of BattleBots, but I'm afraid that the marketers are going to lean into the "ew, buds, icky" angle a bit too much. Maybe some things are left better untouched. Like the fact that Lloyd is just some white dude from Brooklyn who one day decided, yeah, I'll move to Japan, I'm a Borger now!